All right, guys, it's been a while. I know, apologize, just been DPing a bunch of work, doing some editing, some shooting, but I did make a new purchase, which is the RS2 by Ronin, and I want to share with you guys my experience. Now, like I say, keep in mind it's completely subjective. It's my experience with using this device, but I hope I could provide you guys with some knowledge that'll help you when you're making your choice on your next purchase. So without further ado, let's get into this review. So this might be what I would call one of the best stabilizers ever made. The first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about was its portability, its functionality, like its form factor and its weight. It's like this thing weighs practically nothing. I think it's about 3 pounds. So coming from a Ronin M and having to hunk it around all day, that's a blessing in disguise. I don't have to deal with all of that nonsense with carrying around like 10 pounds all day. So I love that a lot. The other thing about this is the lock-in features. I really like that they have these lock-in features all over, because especially even when you have smaller cameras and you're trying to balance a stabilizer, it's hard when all the axes are moving constantly, so you can't get an accurate read on like really what's balanced, especially when you're getting to heavy cameras, because I did mount a Komodo actually on this and I could not believe that this thing can actually handle the weight and it didn't have any issues at all. So if you're to choose between an RS2 and an RSC2, in my opinion, it's really good. It would be a good investment to get the RS2 instead and just shell out the extra few bucks, because if you're gonna go on a set and you need something, or you're working with a camera that weighs a lot more, now you're stuck trying to buy now you're stuck trying to go rent another stabilizer when you can definitely have that if you just shell out a few bucks. So I'd say if you have it, great, and you're working with smaller cameras and you're not looking to move up, don't go for it. But if you're looking to go anywhere in the future, the next few years, or you're even trying to work with cameras right now, just get the RS2. Another thing about this thing is the fact that its form factor is so small. You take it apart in 3 pieces. When you snap this part off over here, then you turn it around, you hit this lock button after the slide, you push the button, and bam, it's off. And I actually fit this in my backpack with these 3 pieces. And to be dead honest with you, like I said, from coming from a Ronin M and having to carry around the bars with you and then having to set up, it was just so cumbersome to your workflow. When you pick up an RS2, you just don't look back, if you get what I'm saying. I also want to talk about the battery on this thing. I mean, the battery life is actually incredible. I think I've shot for like 10 hours and came back, and I'm talking about like constant shooting, set it down, never really turn off the battery, because my Ronin M would die all the time with this. But this one, man, like I'm not lying to you. It's like 10 hours of shooting and this thing is still pumping. The battery is incredible on this compared to like I think every other Ronin they've made. So whatever technology's optimized battery to work so well is incredible. The USB-C charger on this thing is really fast too. You can charge this for half an hour and get yourself a few hours easy off of this. So I fell in love with the functionality and how they've kind of tied all the technology and the hardware into one, and this thing is just like incredible. So I'll tell anybody straight up, if you're thinking about it, man, definitely go and grab it. Another cool thing about this stabilizer is all of its functionalities on the front. Now, what's different than the other ones is they put a full touchscreen on this one, which pretty much lets you do anything you need to intuitively without having to use an app all the time. So whatever you need to check up is literally on the touchscreen sitting right here on the gimbal, and it's placed in a very convenient spot right at the front. So if you need to like literally just slide your thumb off and do some stuff on the joystick, it's the most convenient function ever. So what's dope also is that you can actually go in manually and you can change the different settings from different profiles. So if you want to change like the deadband, the stiffness, the pan, the tilt, and it's just incredible how much different things you can do inside of this. And not to mention, if you buy accessories like the Raven Eye, which I do have, and wirelessly tapping in and sending out a signal and then being able to control the camera, there's just so many different variables with this stabilizer and what you can do with it. Before I get too deep into the water, I would tell you that you can do more reviews online with people that get into the more specifics, but definitely something, if you've used any other stabilizer, you would fall in love with also. Another thing I really like about this is the accessories that come with it. If you actually look on the sides, the NATO rails and stuff that can get pulled onto it, and where it's actually neat, give me a second. pretty much what I do is I grab this part here, and I got this from Smallwork. I think they honestly make like all the dopest pieces for any piece of camera gear that you need. So this is the piece I actually use right here. I put it on the left side of the stabilizer over here. We just choke it on the rail at the top, and then we just click this in over here, and then we just kind of knot it up. So what I do when I'm holding the stabilizer over here, and you can see I'll just put it together like super rapid, quick. Oh, shoot. That's not good. That's really not good. Hope I have a warranty on that. But yeah. So I put this up here. Sorry about that. Just had a little bit of brain fart. Just mashed it up a bit. And then what we have here is the stabilizer with the monitor mount. So what I would do is I put the monitor right there, the small HD, the 5-inch monitor, and I would literally just hold it on the side right here. And it's such a perfect fit with the 5-inch. It's like, I don't even know if it weighs a pound, right? So you don't even notice it compared to walking around with something much bigger if you have that experience. All in all, if I was trying to find cons really to say about this thing, it's almost impossible for me to say, because the things that I had a problem with from my experience though, which what I'm saying is came from like having a Ronin M, and that was so outdated for, I guess you could say, the hardware and technology. When you walk into something like this, it feels like they've solved every problem. So going from here, I would say if there's anything negative to say about the RS2, it's that there's too much positive things about it. That would be it. So before I get too crazy into all the rest of this stuff and keep talking too much, this is my experience with the RS2, and there's different things that I am experimenting with, like the tracking with the Raven Eye and whatnot, and then the USB to camera function feature, which allows for you to record on this button here, but the lens function isn't apparently working yet. There's no software. So there's different kind of things that aren't even working yet that I'm still trying to figure out too. But what I can say is if you're coming from the world of gimbals and you're looking even to upgrade or look into something that can help with your production, this is definitely not something that's a great investment for now, but even in terms of the future, because I was with my Ronin M for about 5-6 years, man, and I'm telling you, even till today, it's still something that, in my opinion, could be used just as efficiently or good as this is. But this is more convenient and portable, period. Another thing I wanted to say is like how stable the footage is that comes off of this thing. It's actually like mind-blowing. I don't know how to explain it, because I was used to the ergonomics of the Ronin M. It was hard for me to kind of adjust at first because it felt like it was really inverted. But after I figured out how it worked, I actually really liked the functionality of the stabilizer, and I find it to be so stable actually. Like, in my opinion, it's probably better than the Ronin M, but it depends on what you're doing and how you're using it. So that's subjective, what I said also too. The great thing about it is that you can lock in different settings. So if you don't want the top head to move, you can have it just sitting in one spot. You can lock the pan, you can lock the tilt, you can have FPV view. So there's just a lot more different functionalities that allows for a lot more creative shooting or techniques that you can do if you really want to try and kind of test the waters and stuff. Because with my Ronin M, I can't get into certain spots, right? And even with this one, even if I want to run fast and stuff, like I'm not even seeing micro jitters or anything in the footage because it has that super smooth mode and then sport mode. So definitely this thing's got a lot of functionality behind it and a lot of different ways you can use it as opposed to other stabilizers. So definitely take that into consideration when you're looking at an RS2, I promise you. Thank you guys for being here. I literally appreciate the fact that you guys come in and show so much love and support. Don't forget to like, don't forget to sub. And I'll be back next week with a great review actually. We're gonna be talking about the set I DP'd for a short film that was actually done at a LARP place, and it was based on like a war that was done back in like medieval time. It was mind blowing. It's really good. I posted some footage on my Instagram that you can probably see there. But like I said, before I babble on, see you guys next week, bro. It's been a pleasure. Peace out.